Welcome to the channel. This is Every Quarter channel where we talk about everything investment. This is episode number 32 and the date is 6th of May 2024. So this is the first episode this month of May, and I have dedicated this month to talking about financial independence. I want to delve deep into the world of financial independence in this month. But maybe before we get deep, today I want to just share an important subject of what financial independence actually means. I think that will form the basis for our discussions the rest of this month on the different elements, the different topics that I want to cover with regards to financial independence. So, financial independence is a word that gets thrown around in the world of personal finance, and obviously it means different things to different people based on their existing circumstances. So for someone that is living with their grandpa, their uncle, their parents, financial independence could mean moving out of that home, to start living on their own. For someone who is not employed, struggling, financial independence could mean finding a job and beginning to gain an income. That's not what we are talking about here. We are talking about a whole different definition of financial independence, which is something that we should all be striving towards. So, what is it that I mean when I talk about financial independence? This is the definition for me that captures the different elements of financial independence, and this sort of forms the framework within which I look at all things personal finance. So financial independence for me is living and thriving on the passive income from personally invested resources. Okay, so I have made sure that I've colored the different elements of this definition, which I want to briefly explain. The first one being living. Okay, so being able to meet basic living expenses, such as housing, food, transportation, healthcare, etc., is obviously an important aspect of financial independence. It relates to security. So, at the very foundation of all our efforts to be financially secure is because we want to be able to live. We want to be able to meet our very basic living expenses. And so, what this means is that as individuals, we should be able to state clearly the things that form our very basic needs. What is it that forms at the very core, things that form our very basic needs, where we should be able to spend our resources at a minimum. Those form our living expenses. Two, thriving. Okay, the second word in that definition of thriving. So this relates to wants, if you like. Some people may even call this to be needs, but they are not at the same level as the security needs that we need, food, housing, and all. So the thriving part relates to your dreams and your goals, your interests and your passions. Okay, it's about living a fulfilling and enjoyable life. What sort of lifestyle, do you want to have? And what does that call for in terms of being able to sustain such a lifestyle? So I think that is the second aspect of financial independence that you need to look at as you craft your own plan towards financial freedom. The third aspect is passive income. I cannot overemphasize this enough. Passive income. It all comes down to passive income, or it all comes down to income. And the more passive, the better. Okay, so this obviously refers to the money from passive sources such as your investments. This could be bonds, this could be stocks, this could be 101 other different financial and non-financial assets, that are available to you. Could include rental properties, businesses, or other side hustles that you have. But the most important thing is that you need the income. And the more passive the income, the more financially independent that you'll be. The more passive the income that comes and it's able to meet your living expenses, it's able to meet your thriving expenses, the more financially independent that you have. The fourth and the last aspect of my definition relates to personally invested resources. So these are assets that you use to generate your income. So you need assets that generate for you that income. So they can include things like your investment portfolio, um, you know, which could be made of different things like I mentioned earlier, stocks, bonds, and everything else. Rental properties or businesses that you own, but you need assets. Okay, if you're going to be financially independent, you need assets that are able to generate for you passive income, you know, in a very sustainable manner. And that income is able to meet your basic needs. We're talking about living expenses. It should be able to meet your other lifestyle goals above and beyond your very basic needs. That's my definition of financial independence. And in this month of May again, I'll be talking about different aspects of this financial independence. And so I thought that it is important that before we delve deep into this subject, we lay a foundation so that when we're talking about financial independence, I know that we are talking about the same thing. That's what I had for you. Today, I want to hear from you in the comments if you have your own favorite definitions of financial independence. Let's learn from each other. I want to hear from you. Thank you.